evening. Happy Monday, everybody. Todd here with Todd's Tip of the Day. Facebook Live. The top 5 ways that you can stay safe while being active or exercising outside and avoid a potentially dangerous situation. Very important for you to know. So in this video, you're going to learn how by taking these 5 simple steps, you'll gain confidence to exercise outside and enjoy the beautiful weather and anticipate and avoid any dangerous situations. My name is Todd Thoughton here from Thoughton Physical Therapy. We're joining you again for another Facebook Live episode. I am so passionate about what I do. I love to help people in any way, especially with the mindset as well as the physical piece, because I know putting both of those together is the total package. So you can please reach me at todd@thoughtonphysicaltherapy.com, or you can reach me on my Facebook page as well. Please feel free to type out any questions that you may have, any idea for future topics that you would like me to cover. I think anything out there would be really helpful to me so I can add as much value to you. So my favorite part, the meat and potatoes here. So when I was trying to think of this week's topic, I have 3 reasons why I picked out this topic this week. I just moved my older daughter, Paige, into college this past weekend, and now she's going to be alone on campus by herself, walking long distances to classes, even though it's a very safe campus. You just never know. The second thing was we've been watching the news. I'm sure a lot of you have been watching the news this week for Molly Tibbetts that was abducted and killed out in Iowa, at the University of Iowa. Very sad situation that potentially could have been avoided. And number 3, as we approach fall, the daylight is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And some people, we may need to wake up early in the morning when the sunlight doesn't come along for a period of time after 6 o'clock here on the East Coast. So we're losing daytime hours. So what do we know about the data about the Molly Tibbetts abduction? Number 1, she was jogging by herself, and it looks like, from what I can read, she's run the same route as witnessed by some of her neighbors, the same route many times. We also know that she had headphones on. No, don't ever run with headphones on, ever. She was jogging at 7:30 at night, which is kind of dusk. I don't know what it was like out there in Iowa, whether it was dark or whether it was dusk, but potentially not a good situation. And she was also abducted by somebody that had regularly seen her running and kind of knew her route. So we never know when this dangerous situation could come about. We also know, or I know, that it's not ideal that we're going to run at nighttime, or we're going to run by ourselves, or run into situations that we don't know. So I wanted to give you 5 simple tips that would really help you, hopefully to keep you as safe as possible. So my tips are, number 1, we want to be aware of your surroundings. We want to have eyes all around us, looking around all the time. We want to be mindful of the neighborhoods that we will be walking through or running through. We want to do some research. If you're in an area on vacation or for business, do some research on what is a safe area for you to be in. Be aware of all spaces that someone could easily hide in, whether they're hiding underneath a car, in a doorway, in a dark alley, wherever that is. And you want to act like you know where you're going. You always want to carry a cell phone that's easily reachable. I see many people have cell phones in their arms. You're not going to be able to pull that out if you need to in an emergency. The second thing is never, ever, ever, ever run with headphones. I know you think that you might want to, get into the groove, whether you're walking or running, or you might be listening to a podcast. But if you can't hear what's happening, then you're putting yourself in harm's way right there. The third thing you want to really think about is things called, the police officers or law enforcement people called everyday carries. What does that include? Simple stuff: a whistle, mace, and a light. Anything like that could potentially shock or scare someone away that's trying to hurt you or harm you when you're outside, is that if they can just make them think for a second, they might stay away. The fourth one is to take self-defense course. Whether it's male or female, young or old, I think everybody should know self-defense. An opponent or an attacker is less likely to go after a confident person. So I thought I'd go over a couple of the different styles of martial arts. The first one is jiu-jitsu. It's when they use an opponent's force against themselves. Striking an opponent that is heavily armored is often ineffective. But if we can use the momentum against themselves, that's where the magic comes in. The second one is Taekwondo. This is what my daughters, my twins took. They're black belts in Taekwondo. They really enjoyed it. And the focus with this type of martial arts is on head height kicks, jumping, spinning kicks, and throwing kicks from a narrow stance. The third one, which is really popular, is Krav Maga. It's formed from a military self-defense fighting developed by Israel Defense Forces, and it uses boxing, wrestling, aikido, judo, and karate. It focuses, what I really like about Krav Maga is it focuses on real life situations, aggressive, offensive, and defensive moves to try and keep your attacker away from you. The next one is Aikido. Aikido is an art that practitioners can use to defend themselves also while protecting their attacker from injury. I think Steven Seagal was pretty masterful in Aikido. And it's a spiritual energy form of martial arts. The next one I never really heard about is called Wing Chun. It's when the practitioner can angle themselves at a 30-degree angle outside of the opponent's lead shoulder to allow that they can, the opponent will only have, they're thinking, one arm or one appendage to come at the person with, where the person at the 30-degree angle who's skilled in Wing Chun will have both their arms and both their legs while they're angled. The next one is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Very, very common in mixed martial arts. It uses mostly grappling and ground fighting. I find this one to be very effective. That's a little bit about what I've done in the past because every confrontation is going to come where it gets on the ground or people are wrestling with each other. So really good to know. This is when you get your opponent to the ground. You promotes a smaller, weaker person can be successful to defend themselves against a bigger, stronger, heavier person by applying joint locks, elbows, wrists, joint locks, and chokeholds. The next one is Muay Thai, and it uses stand-up striking with various clenching techniques. They grab someone, pull them towards them as they strike with a knee or strike with an elbow. The fifth thing, this is my fifth tip, is you need to have an accountability partner. I know if I'm out going for a run at lunch or after work or before work, I always let my partner know when I'm going, where I'm going, and I also let them know when I return. It's really important to have an accountability partner, just letting somebody know where you are. Important to let them know when you leave and when you come back, no excuses, because time is of the essence in any abduction situation. Hopefully this was helpful. My 5 tips on ways to stay safe while being active outside. Please, who's out there again, thumbs up, anything to let me know that you're there, maybe even type where you're from. Again, you can reach out to me at todd@HoughtonPhysicalTherapy.com, and please feel free to comment or ask any of the questions. I get back to everybody's question. You can also private message me as well. And thank you for those of you who tuned in tonight, and thank you, Gene Phillips, for the awesome comments tonight. It's always my pleasure to be here every week to help you guys out. Hope to see you soon. Have a great week.